Sounds quite strange that countries now intent on erasing each other's existence were once bosom friends. Yes, we are talking about Iran and Israel. This was no ordinary friendship. Their leaders used to meet in secret, gifts were shared and secret agreements were signed. Their friendship was even cited as an example. There are many stories, but the most surprising fact is that the very nuclear program being objected to today was gifted to Iran by Israel and the United States. But how exactly? At what point did the friendship between Iran and Israel begin? Who was jealous of this bond? Why were weapons taken from Israel even during the Ayatollah's regime? And what was the exact point when this deep friendship turned into enmity? Welcome once again to World Pulse TV. To understand the roots of this friendship, we have to go back a little to when the Middle East looked very different. Previously, the Ottoman Empire ruled here, which came to an end in 1922 after World War I. Now, the British ruled, and Arab nationalism was on the rise. The Arabs had recently been freed from the Ottoman Empire's rule and wanted to create their own separate country. In fact, one reason for the Ottoman Empire's defeat in World War I was that the Arabs had secretly supported the British on the promise that they would be allowed to form their own separate country after independence. However, besides the British and the Arabs, there was one power left in the region that had a significant problem with Arab nationalism, and that was Iran. At that time, Iran was a powerful country, and its people considered the Arabs inferior. The Shah of Iran felt that if all the Arab countries united, they could become a threat to Iran. For one, Iran's hold on the Persian Gulf would be divided, as the Arabs had already started calling it the Arabian Gulf instead of the Persian Gulf. Secondly, Iran had a Shia Muslim majority, while the Arabs were Sunni Muslims. Although both are Muslims, history shows there has always been a silent competition between the two over who represents Islam. Shah of Iran Mohammad Reza Pahlavi feared that Sunni Muslim influence might increase and reach Iran, potentially snatching his throne. But who knew that Iran, becoming isolated in the Middle East, was about to find a best friend? Then came the year 1948, the historic year when the State of Israel was established following the United Nations Declaration. As soon as Israel was formed, neighboring Arab countries felt an injustice had been done to the Palestinians, so they attacked Israel. While this war threatened Israel's existence, it also became a way for the Shah of Iran to escape Arab influence. In reality, Iran did not have as much of an issue with the State of Israel as it did with the growing influence of Arab countries. That is, while the Arabs were fighting Israel for the rights of Palestine, Iran's tilt was toward Israel. On the other hand, Israel also began to feel that it needed non-Arab friends amidst hostile neighbors. Consequently, Israel's first Prime Minister, David Ben-Gurion, formulated a strategic policy called the Peripheral Doctrine. He stated that because Israel is a small state surrounded by Arab countries, they must make friends with the neighbors of their enemies. On the map, the largest and most important neighbor of the Arabs was Iran. This was the Israeli policy that laid the first foundation of friendship between Iran and Israel. The first major result of Ben-Gurion's policy emerged in 1950. After Turkey, Iran was the second Muslim-majority country to recognize Israel de facto. Iran sent a formal letter to Israel through the Swiss government, not only accepting them but also offering friendship. This was not official de jure recognition, but a secret agreement that everyone knew about, an open secret. The world thought Iran did not recognize Israel, but in reality, the Shah of Iran allowed the Israeli mission to open in Tehran. A very large office was opened in Tehran that functioned exactly like an embassy. However, there was no Israeli flag outside, nor was the word embassy written. People knew it was the Israeli mission, but officially it was called the Israeli Trade Office, or sometimes something else. Before knowing how much and on what occasions Iran and Israel supported each other, let's understand why the Shah of Iran supported Israel despite being a Muslim country. There were three major reasons. The Shah wanted to strengthen his monarchy and make Iran a modern, powerful industrial state. For this, he needed modern technology and intelligence, which Israel could provide. Second, the Shah of Iran feared Egypt's Gamal Abdel Nasser, who was waving the flag of Arab nationalism. The Shah felt he could be the next target. This fear forced him to lean toward Israel, but the most important reason was the Shah of Iran's closeness to America. In 1953, Iranian Prime Minister Mossadegh tried to reduce the Shah's powers, but America helped the Shah through the CIA and saved his throne. After this incident, he was indebted to America and did not want to refuse them anything. America also wanted Iran and Israel to remain friends. The Shah was so afraid of his own people that he created a secret police force named SAVAK. The job of this police was to catch or eliminate those who spoke against the Shah. You will be surprised to know that to train SAVAK, Israel tasked Mossad agents. Mossad trained SAVAK on how to monitor people and how to conduct interrogations. Intelligence sharing between SAVAK and Mossad was a routine matter. These two agencies worked together to target communism and Arab militant groups. Not only that, Iranian Air Force pilots received training in Israel. Israel sent advanced weapons and technology to Iran that the Arab world could not even imagine at the time. Both countries also worked together on missile technology and signed research agreements on nuclear weapons technology. Iran's nuclear program, which America and Israel are after today, was actually started with their help. In 1957, American President Eisenhower launched a campaign called Atoms for Peace. Its purpose was to provide nuclear technology to American allies worldwide so they could produce cheap electricity. America gave Iran its first nuclear research reactor in 1967, which was installed at Tehran University. The interesting part is that at that time Israel trained the Iranian nuclear scientists who are being picked off and eliminated today. The friendship between Iran and Israel did not depend only on military alliances. The economy was the strongest part of this bond. Israel needed oil, and Arab countries had boycotted providing it to them. Iran, being Israel's friend, had plenty of oil, but there was no route to get that oil to Israel. If oil containers tried to go from the Persian Gulf to the Red Sea and then through the Suez Canal to Israel, the problem was that the Suez Canal was under the control of Egypt, which stood with the Arabs and would never allow it. Looking at the land route, Iraq, Syria, and Jordan lie between Iran and Israel, and these two are Arab countries. This meant there was no route left to get oil from Iran to Israel. To fulfill the duty of this friendship, a special pipeline was laid. You can see that an Israeli port also exists on the Gulf of Aqaba called Eilat. The pipeline started from here and went to Israel's Ashkelon port, and this project was named the Eilat-Ashkelon pipeline. This was done specifically so that Iranian oil tankers could leave Karg Island, enter the Red Sea, bypass the Suez Canal to reach the Gulf of Aqaba, and then empty the tankers at the Israeli port of Eilat. Through this secret pipeline, while Israel got oil, Iran also got the opportunity to sell its oil to Europe. Because Israel's Ashkelon port is on the Mediterranean Sea, there was no obstacle, like the Suez Canal, for the oil to reach Europe. This was not just a pipeline, it was the brotherhood of Iran and Israel. Iran had a 50% share and Israel had a 50% share. Both invested money together to strike at the oil monopoly of the Arab countries. This friendship was so solid that meetings between the Shah of Iran and Israeli Prime Minister Ben-Gurion used to happen in secret. When Ben-Gurion landed at Tehran airport, he would wear a wig to escape the eyes of the media. In 1970, the trade mission in Tehran, which was actually an embassy, was fully active. Israeli engineers, doctors, and military advisors were present there. Israel also taught modern irrigation and technology to Iranian farmers, and direct flights operated between the two countries. This period is considered the golden era of the two countries' friendship. During this time, the Shah of Iran hosted the world's most expensive and largest birthday party, October 26, 1971. This was the day of the Shah's 52nd birthday and the 2500th anniversary of the Persian Empire. An entire mini-city was built in the desert for this party. A special runway was also constructed, costing more than $100 million at that time. Kings, queens, presidents, and prime ministers from all over the world were invited. Food was brought in via private planes from the famous Maxim's restaurant in Paris. The Israeli prime minister was not invited to this party, so that the friendship would remain secret. Although Israeli leaders were not on stage, Israel's secret agency Mossad, together with the Shah's security team, planned the entire protection of the party to prevent any attacks. Despite not inviting the Israeli prime minister, there was no change in their friendship. This friendship continued like this for the next few years. But finally, the day came when the friendship between Iran and Israel turned into enmity. In the 1979 revolution, Ayatollah Khomeini overthrew the Shah of Iran and made Iran an Islamic republic. Upon arrival, Khomeini declared that Israel was the enemy of Islam, and the Shah was a traitor. A few weeks later, the Israeli trade mission was attacked, and the Palestinian flag was raised there. That same day, Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat reached Tehran, and Khomeini declared that this was no longer the Israeli embassy, but the Palestinian embassy. This was the moment when the story of Iran-Israel friendship ended, but for the time being it was not buried. After the Islamic Revolution, an interesting turn comes in the story. A year later, when the Iran-Iraq War started, Iran was in dire need of weapons, and once again, necessity brought the two together. Israel helped Iran on this occasion and secretly supplied them with weapons. This war, led by Khomeini, lasted for 8 years, and weapons kept coming from Israel. Israel's benefit in this was that by supplying weapons to Iran, it wanted to weaken its neighboring Arab country, Iraq. After the Islamic Revolution, Iran also ended all of the old Shah's things, like the SAVAK police, the oil pipeline, and the Israeli trade mission. But one thing that Israel and America had gifted to Iran was reopened by Khomeini, Iran's nuclear program. When the Iran-Iraq War ended in 1990, Israel realized that the threat was no longer Iraq but Iran's nuclear program, which was now in the hands of Islamic revolutionists. From that era, a shadow war started between them, which continues to this day. And that was the point when the Iran-Israel friendship was completely buried. We hope you will fully like and share this video from World Pulse TV. Heartfelt thanks for your loving comments. See you in the next wonderful video.